Hey YouTube, it's me Spotty. Today we've got the full review of the Weilong GTS version 2. The GTS V2 was a very hyped up 3x3, and rightly so, being the predecessor to the generally well received V1. Let's take a look. So starting with the unboxing, the GTS has taken similar suit to cheese presentation with the Valk 3 and provided a quality unboxing experience. Now I'm not gonna lie, this was definitely a nice touch, but looking back a tad bit unnecessary in my opinion, considering also that the price has gone up for the puzzle and I'm sure packaging was a factor. But you tell me, is this face worth the bump up in price? Then actually picking up the puzzle, we noticed that the cube comes in at 55.5mm, which is a tad bit smaller than average. I personally find this to be a welcome change. My hands aren't that big, and bonus, these cubes are perfect for a wage. So no complaints there from me, but if you do have bigger hands, then you might not be as fond. Onto the turning, this guy feels solid and compact, partly but not completely due to its size. The turning isn't flimsy, and stability is fair. Greatly improved over the V1, even though we don't see very many design changes in the mechanism. Quickly taking a look at that, we see small changes like the removal of tracks from the corners and a small protrusion now on either side of the edge piece, but the bulk of the mech is still very similar. One thing that you might want to know as well is that the GTS 2 has gone back to a more traditional 3-piece design rather than the cap design that we saw on the V1. This shouldn't be a huge deal, but if you're looking to magnetize this guy, it might be a slight bit harder. Again, I don't really see too many changes, but these little things do add up, and they make what I believe to be a slightly better 3x3 compared to the first generation. The overall performance out of the box was excellent, although the cube comes quite fast straight up, so some heavy lube on hand might be useful. After some setup with some weight 5 on the core, and generous amounts of the same on the pieces, this cube has become much more controllable while still retaining its quick and effortless turning, and plus the feel is something that I really enjoy. It's absolutely buttery with some subtle bumps when turning more slowly, and mix that in with some crunchiness and small snaps when corner cutting, and this is the result. The clacky and slight crispiness that was present before setting up and breaking in is mostly gone on this puzzle, but depending on how you set yours up, your cube might feel very similar or quite different to what I've got here. One final thing that I'd like to note is that this cube isn't great on tighter tensions, and the reason for that is that corner cutting can be compromised. So summing it up, this is a pretty pricey but excellent performing cube, and while like most 3x3s coming out nowadays, it's not revolutionary or spectacular, it does hit all the marks to be considered a top 3x3, and doesn't have any gaping flaws that I can see. If you're wondering whether this is my main, I'm kind of interchanging between the Valk and this right now. But what do you think? If by the end of this review you're liking the sound of the GTS version 2, then I will leave a link to where you can pick this puzzle up. Other than that though, thank you to speedcube.com.au for sending this puzzle out for me to test. Thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you all in the next one.